Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a 2 looks using 1 eyeshadow palette makeup tutorial, and the eyeshadow palette I will be using is the Minimalist eyeshadow palette by the brand Elcie. I've recently gotten into the Elcie brand a little bit more. I started using her primer. I wasn't a huge fan of her foundation, but I really like the primer, and when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, this palette is so me. It's a very basic, warm toned eyeshadow palette with 5 eyeshadows, and they're honestly the 5 eyeshadows that I would normally reach for anyway. You have a beautiful vanilla cream, a matte black, a chocolate color, and then warmer transition shades. This is literally my perfect on-the-go travel palette. It's awesome. It has a mirror. When I first opened this and I swatched them, I was like, oh my gosh. So I really wanted to do 2 different looks to show you how you can use just these simple little eyeshadows 2 different ways. The first one being this one on my eyes. It's a very warm toned, everyday kind of look, but I made it a little bit more bold by adding some colored eyeliner. But you can make this one extremely wearable by eliminating the blue eyeliner. And then I wanted to show you something a little bit more deep and sultry and smoky, so I went with a really black smoky eye, which is perfect for special events, perfect for clubbing, birthdays, and I love a good smoky eye. So I hope you enjoy this video. It is mainly 2 eyeshadow tutorials because if I did my entire face both times, I feel like that would be a little bit too crazy. So I'm doing mainly my eyes, but I do show you my bronzer, my blush, my highlight, and my lip color. So the only thing I'm not showing you in this video is my foundation, my concealer, and my powders. So if you want to see how to get this fun, well, I think it's fun. It's really cool, warm and blue kind of look, then just keep watching. Okay, so I'm priming my eyelids with the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Enigma. Forgive me, my voice is still a little weird because I'm still sick. I set down that primer with some face powder and then I applied some tape to the side of my eye to create a sharp cat eye look. I'm going into the Elcie Minimalist palette and I'm taking that warm brown color and I'm using this to apply to my crease, and I'm putting this pretty much everywhere. I want it in my crease, on the outer corners, a little bit higher than my crease. I want this color to be very blown out, just not touching the inner corners. I want that part to be bare, but pretty much everywhere else. Going back into the eyeshadow palette, I'm taking this warm orangey red shade and I'm focusing this closer to the tape. I'm focusing this on the outer corners and then dragging it into my crease. I'm applying most of the pigment right at the corners, like right where the tape is, and then I'm dragging that color in. And then I'm gonna go into this matte chocolatey, well, they're all matte. I'm going into this chocolatey deep brown, and I'm doing the exact same thing, only I'm not taking it as far as I took the orange shade. I'm focusing this one a little bit closer to the tape. I took a clean brush with no eyeshadow on it and just kind of softened out the edges, and then I took this creamy vanilla shade and I used this to highlight underneath my brow bone a little bit. Okay, so now I'm gonna do my winged eyeliner, and I didn't want this part to be a voiceover because I feel like it's gonna be difficult to explain. I don't have a royal blue eyeliner like this. Please leave me a comment down below with a really great recommendation of a royal blue eyeliner. I have tried the Tarte one that comes in a little pot, but I don't like it. It's like a shimmery color. So I'm looking for either a pot or a felt tip royal blue eyeliner like this. But for today, what we're gonna use is the Urban Decay Electric palette. I do this all the time whenever I want a blue eyeliner. This palette is pretty old. I've had it for a long time now, so I think it's time for me to get a new one. But in the meantime, I've been using the blue as eyeliner. So obviously this step takes up more time than it should, honestly. I don't have a blue eyeliner. If you have a blue eyeliner, you can go ahead and use that, or you can use a black eyeliner if you don't wanna do a blue. Use whatever you have at home, but what I'm gonna do is I just scraped off a layer of the Chaos eyeshadow from the Urban Decay Electric palette. I used my Morphe B71 brush, this little spiky thing, and I just scraped off some product and I put it in a little oh, this is a mess. I put it in a little water bottle cap, and then I applied some NYX Multitasker mixing medium inside the cap, and I mixed it all together and it created a blue gel liner. It isn't perfect, it is a little bit cracky, but it's not too bad and I really like the pigmentation. So I'm gonna use the product I have left over from doing this eye, and I'm just gonna do my typical wing. I don't want it to be like a super intense wing. Let's see if I can make it so that it matches this one because I suck at wing liner. Ah! Wait. Okay, so I forgot something. Before I finish doing my winged eyeliner, I do want to add a little bit of that creamy vanilla eyeshadow to the inner corners. This color right here, I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to finish up my winged liner. I'm going to go back into the palette and I'm going to take that chocolatey shade we used earlier, and I'm just applying a little bit of this right in the outer corners just to add a little bit of depth after we added the eyeliner. Now to finish up the lower lash line, I already applied my foundation and all of that. I'm going to take the light brown shade in the palette and I'm going to smudge this on my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take the dark brown, and on a smaller pencil brush, I'm going to focus this on the outer corners, and I'm not going to drag that color in. I want it to just come in halfway, and then I'm going to go back into the lighter brown and smudge everything out. For my waterline, I'm taking the Marc Jacobs Highliner Gel Crayon in the shade Out of the Blue. It's a really pretty matte cobalt. I'm putting that on my waterline, and then I'm going to curl up my lashes and pop on some Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. For my inner corners, I'm going to take my Girlactik Luminous Face Veil in the shade See-Through, and I'm going to pop that on my inner corners. And then just to show you what the rest of my face looks like, I applied some bronzer. This is the Too Faced Sweethearts bronzer in the shade Sweet Pea. Just bronzed up my skin, and then I took my Essence Pure Nude Highlighter on a fluffy brush, and I kind of put this everywhere because I thought my face was a little bit too matte, so I wanted to glow all over the place just a little bit. And then for blush, I went in with my Sleek blush in the shade Suede. I love this blush, and I think it complements the eyeshadows so well. I love it so much. For highlight, I'm going back into my Luminous Face Veil in the shade See-Through. I used this like right now, like a few seconds ago. And I'm going to highlight the rest of my face with this product. I'm putting it on my cheekbones, on my nose, above my brows, like all over the place. And then I'm going to set my makeup down using my Milani Make It Last setting spray. I can't get enough of this. I'm like running out of it a lot faster than I thought I would. I'm going to mix two lip colors today. I'm going to take two Ofra liquid lipsticks. This one is in the shade Americano. I'm going to put that one on first, and then I'm going to go over it with the shade Blaquer. I wanted something warm and deep, but not too deep, but I didn't want something too nude either, so I like this combo. And yeah, this is eyeshadow look number 1, and let's get into look number 2. It's a really deep, intense black smoky eye, and I love it. So I already primed my eyelids. They're good to go. And I'm gonna go into the light brown shade in the palette, and I'm going to start buffing this color into my crease and windshield wiper motions. This is going to be our transition shade, so you want to make sure you're really buffing this color in because we're going to be doing a lot of blending with this look. A lot of blending. I'm taking the dark brown in the palette, and on a smaller crease brush, I'm focusing this right at the crease. Now we are going in with the black. So I'm taking a flat shader brush and I'm applying this to my entire lid. This eyeshadow is very, very black. You don't need a black base underneath. I think it's pigmented enough, but you do have to build it up, but it is very, very pigmented. I'm going to go back into the dark brown, and I'm just going to start blending out this black eyeshadow. You really want to take your time with this. Just focus this brown color into the crease, go back and forth. I'm going back into the light brown and just buffing everything out. Lots of blending. I'm going back and forth with these shades, just making sure that everything is nice and seamless and that there are no harsh lines. Going into that vanilla shade, and I'm going to clean up underneath my brow bone, and then I'm just going to do the process all over again, because when you blend so many colors in the crease, the black will fade away. So just repeating all the steps all over again, working those two browns in the crease, and then I'm cleaning up all of the fallout, and then I went in with my foundation, concealer, and all that good stuff. I'm going to tight line with the Marc Jacobs eyeliner in the shade Blaquer. And then for my lower lash line, I'm going into that brown shade, and I'm just smudging this really, really close to my waterline. I do want the lower lash line to be nice and smoky, so I'm building that color up. Then I'm going in with the light brown shade and just blending it all out. I want it to be smoky, but I don't want it to be too harsh. So I'm making sure I'm blending a lot. And then I'm going in with a smaller pencil brush, and I'm going to take the black, and I'm going to put this as close to my waterline as possible. I don't want to drag the black too far down. And then for my waterline, I applied that same Marc Jacobs eyeliner and just blended out some more with the light brown. Because the vanilla shade is pretty much the exact same color of my skin, I want to highlight my brow bone even more. So I'm taking the City Color Intense Exposure Highlighting Powder to highlight my brow bone and my inner corners just a little bit. For a pop of glitter on the lower lash line, I'm taking the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter in the shade Midnight Cowboy. I think this adds such a nice little pizzazz. Then I'm going to take this gold highlight in this Mali Duo, and I'm going to pop this on my inner corners just to add a little bit more of a pop of gold. I'm then going to pop on some mascara on my top and bottom lashes, and then I'm going to go in with these Falsies by Kiss in the style Flirty, and then that completes the eyes. And now I'm going to work on the skin. I'm going to take my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I'm going to contour and bronze the skin with this as well. And then I wanted to just warm up the skin even more, so I took this Milani Baked Bronzer in the shade Dolce, and with a stippling brush, I just applied this pretty much everywhere. I wanted to look really bronze with this look since the eyes were so intense. I'm going in with my CoverFX Loose Translucent Setting Powder, and I'm going to bake underneath my contour just a little bit. I'm not going to leave it on too long. I'm literally going to blend it away almost instantly because I don't want it to look too intense, but this is just going to clean up the contour and make it look a little sharper. For blush, I'm taking the Milani Powder Blush in the shade Warm Petals. It's such a pretty bronzy nude. I love it. And then I'm going to take that same Mali highlighting and blush duo in the shade Effortless Peach, and I'm going to take the highlighter in the palette, and I'm going to pop that on my cheeks. I wasn't feeling that brush I was just using, so I switched to the Real Techniques setting brush, and I just highlighted my face with that. Then I applied my setting powder, and I finished with my lip color. I lined my lips with the Bite Lip Pencil in the shade 020, and I went over it with the Bite High Pigment Pencil in the shade Madeira. I'm obsessed with this color. It's such a beautiful nude. And then on top of that, I took the Marc Jacobs Lip Gloss in the shade Sugar Sugar. Okay guys, so that completes this video. I hope you guys like this 2 looks using 1 palette. I actually love how this one turned out so much. I think it's so sultry and sexy, and I know it looks really intimidating and kind of scary at first, but once you blend everything and pop on lashes and put on like concealer and do the whole thing, it all ties together. Just don't give up until you get to the end with this one, because I know it can get discouraging when you look like you have 2 black eyes. Just keep going, keep blending, and wait till you get to the end. But yeah, I absolutely love this palette. It's such a simple palette, but I feel like it can do so much. So I really, really love this. Anyway, so yeah, that completes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Warden, hanging from the rafters, upside down.
And I love how